Hey everyone! Finally got some time to keep playing with the new pyro nodes of Houdini 19. As a fan of the Avatar series, we are going to create some firebending. With a quick setup, we will explore new things within the volume nodes, like adding noises, quickly creating a setup to render in Mantra, and doing some firebending to create a tornado, and then a little spiral fire effect. Hope you enjoyed this one and have fun firebending. Before we start our tutorial, I want to show you my new tutorial store on Retrieve. And here you can buy the bundles with all the tutorials or different bundles depending on the section you want to learn. And you have special features in these tutorials. They are different than from the YouTube or Patreon. And let me show you something really cool and quickly. So you buy this bundle, this fluid bundle, and you get access to this, to Abstract Fluids Part 1. Let's open this guide. Guide is called like a group of tutorials, okay? And then you can press play and see the tutorial. So I start in this store. You have you can add subtitles. Let me show you. On 30, no, not 30. We have multiple subtitles like Italian. Okay, so German, animation. Very cool. And there's something even more cool than this one. You can have a voiceover. And if you are tired of reading subtitles, you can simply switch to your own language, press play, and it will talk on that language.
Y como puede ver este gráfico amarillo.
Let's check another one. This is so cool. Let's see Japanese. And you can have both if you want. Now we have Japanese voiceover and Japanese subtitles. Very cool. Another cool feature that I want to show you is this one. I think this is the main feature and the most cool feature of this Retrieve store is the search bar, the search engine they have behind the videos, is that you can type anything that you want, or you can use the microphone and dictate, and you can directly search on the video. For example, this tutorial has 1 hour, okay, and you just want to learn like the part of the viscous jelly, okay. I need to write it correctly. And you press enter to search, and it will jump you and show you the different sections that you have, and it will jump directly to the that section, right? That is pretty cool, and it's a new way of learning Houdini. You can check with the subtitles, check with voiceover if you don't want to read subtitles, right? If you just want to listen, or you can search directly on the topic you want to learn, and it will jump to your to the section of the video, so you don't need to watch all the tutorial all over again, and you can just jump into the section. I think this is pretty cool. This store is really good. It's a new way of learning Houdini, a quick and easy way to learn Houdini, accessible for everyone. I hope you enjoy this new store, and it will help you a lot learning Houdini. And let's go back to the tutorial. Let's start our project by placing our frame here. Let's call it Firebending. Little reference to Avatar. Okay. And let's put a sphere. And we are going to start with a simple fire. Okay. So let's start by putting a pyro source. Convert this to a bunch of points. Let's change these to is it here? Volume. You can have points inside and not just on the surface scatter. Okay. Let's start. I'll do it. Okay, we have a bunch of points. Cool. Let's initialize. Okay, so now we have density, temperature, and burn too. Okay, that's pretty cool. So let's check this out. Here by pressing the I, we can see that points have density, temperature, and burn. But we could go with, sorry, not but we have to convert those points to volumes, okay? But because if you can see, it is point attributes. So let's volume rasterize. It's attributes. Okay. Now let's link this voxel size to our particle separation, okay? Keep everything literal. So, oops, reference values, okay? And because we are not seeing anything because we are not linking the attributes. Let's pick those ones. Density, we want the burn, and we want the temperature, okay, to create our little nice fire. So right now I could link this directly to a pyro solver, okay. Here, let's go 2.1 for now. And let's go to, instead of, we have everything, but we could use quick setups and initialize sources. Fix this for us, checking the volumes, okay. And we have initialize fire, smoke, let's go fire, okay. And you can see you have a bunch of setups we are going to use later to create lights and cameras and create render stage so we can have everything ready for our mantra render. Okay, for now let's go. Let's check this out. Okay, we have boundaries tab open. Because we have on sparse, it will calculate the volume bounding. Okay, limiting source, for now we want to emit every single frame. So this is uncheck. If you want to emit only like the stop on frame 12 on cycle, it will emit until frame 12 and then stop. If you want to cycle, it could cycle 2 times want. Okay, but for now we want to emit infinite or all the frame range. We have the sources. Okay, collisions, we don't have collisions. Okay, let's keep the things really simple. Shape, buoyancy, so it's going up because we have our gravity let me see the gravity. There is something about the gravity else I'm not finding, but buoyancy. Okay. Buoyancy is -1, okay, with the gravity. So the gravity is pointing down, so you know the buoyancy. Keeping things simple, buoyancy will act as the opposite. Okay, so if the gravity pulls down, then the buoyancy, the smoke will go up. Let's add disturbance. Let's add turbulence, flame expansion. Let's keep things like that. Okay, increase a bit to flame expansion, is a bit more, and disturb this. I press play and see our little smoke. Oh no, the fire, because we have burn. It's not just smoke. For now, it's pretty simple, right? Kind of boring. Makes a little mushroom on the start. As you can see, let me hold down this bit. You can see it's going up, and we have a quick pyro simulation, a quick fire simulation. Let's make things a little bit more robust and more cool. Instead of having these uniformly fire, okay, you can see a lot of I like to call them mushrooms because we have disturbance and turbulence a bit strong. But let's break this uniform thing with some noises. Okay, so for now let's put the new node noise fog. where is it? Volume noise vector. Okay, and you have a volume noise SDF and volume noise fog. Let's work with the volume noise fog. Okay, and this one, let's go for the density. And let's keep things more cool. Let's enable the density. Okay, and let's make it with more contrast. Okay, you can see what is going on because we have all the volumes. So if you want to see just one, put density, you can see now the noise here. Let's animate this a bit. Let's animate the noise. Okay, go back and you can see the noise here. Try to post this, and instead of add, let's multiply, because we don't want to add, we want to multiply, because when it's 0 we don't want to have smoke. You can start seeing something. If it is too big, you can always change the scale. Okay, that's cool. We have a little noise animating. That's cool. And let's do the same for the other ones. Let's add another volume noise, because I want to give different noises. So now I've got to take off all the others. So now we can see the burn. Let's go with the burn a different offset, so it will have a different noise. And now for the temperature, nice. It's just to break a bit that uniform. Go and see if better. It is thing. But now let's, this is fast and I'm recording, so let's try dial this down a bit, see if it is better. And let's add some lights. Okay, go with sunset. You can see this quick setup, it's really cool. It fixes up a light for us. Let's just move the light a bit to the side, because much. You can align handle to the world. That one. Right click, align world. It without changing too much. Let's go back to our fire. Be a bit better. It looks. Let me see if in the look we can pick this a bit. Start seeing cracks here on the side because of the noise we had. Not uniformly like it was before. I think it's pretty cool. Here. And now, if you want to render this mantra, let me just dial down a bit more the resolution, and let's kind of like 45 to see how it looks. And while this process, be right back. We have almost until frame 45. It was taking a bit long at the end. As you can see, we have a really cool result with just a few nodes. Let's go and create some materials before we do the firebending. Okay, so here let's you can already cache simulation, or let's go with the create pyro look. Okay, and if you want, you could create materials and create render stage. Go to sunset, and it will create a bunch of cool stuff for us. Here we have the LopNet. Very cool. So link everything for us. If Not really used to work with mantra, but I know that you can magnet eyes with black body. Everything. Okay. It is updating the pyro shader. Okay. And let's go stage. We already render stage. If I'm not mistaken, I come to render, we will have everything on mantra ready. Let's see how it looks and if we have something. Not really used to the workflow with mantra, but I want to show you how quick you can do stuff with just that. Okay, we have something here. So now let's just camera, create a camera. It's cool on the Houdini 19 when you press camera, you don't need anymore to press control to create the camera on the part. So let's go this. Cool. Go to tasks. Here it is. Here we have the tasks. Okay. And on the out, let's go to mantra. Let's smooth this a bit. And I know there's a way that I'm missing. Let me see. Where is it? Go to big setups, create pyro look. Let me delete this one. Okay. Let's delete and see if I can manage to the thing that I did by mistake when I was testing this real. I think it's create render stage. One sec. Okay. But I look. Minimize export. I'm just checking the days. Create pyro look, sorry. Here. Okay. Here. Go with black body. Turn off not darken a bit more. Smoke. Okay. Let's scatter. They like working with higher numbers. Okay. Just testing this quickly. Because on Redshift, these parameters don't really matter that much here. So, and you can switch it to color ramp so you can control a bit the colors that you want. For example, if you want to come here and use the new color ramps, for example, use Inferno, cooler, scatter, it's here, and scatter, good, go with the Inferno and have different look. Okay, quick setups, create materials. Because I already created that one. Where do you want to create a pyro shader? This will create pyro shader material that is reference parameters from this pyro bake. And you can press next to pyro bake and to create here, okay, the material for us. But as you can see, it is everything linked to parameters that you use here. Test on the dirt looks. You can see we have our fire. Now, it is a bit tricky, and I'm not really a big fan of this because on the viewport, and I think they say that here, some viewport visualization features might not visible after this node. That means, in other words, what you see here is not what you get on the render. And that is a bit bad for me. Okay, I don't really like that. But you can see we have the blend way too strong for my taste. So let's increase a bit. And let me save this. Sorry, 01 before it crashes. Sorry, my CPU is a bit slow, how it looks. Okay, now we have a more dense fire, and you can tweak it a bit without the scatter, how it looks. Okay. Increase it a bit, that hot core. Okay, but you know how I just want to show you how you could quickly set up on Mantra the flame, and I think it's with just a few clicks, and I'm not really good with Mantra, but you can see ready things. Okay, and with just using quick setups and fixing a few things. Now for the cool thing that I want to show you is the fire bending. Let's go back to this one and this back to black body. Okay. A bit. Let's just let me check just how it looks. Okay, cool. Let's stop the render. Go back and let's go to the fire bending. And the fire bending you can set up like this. You have your volume, right? So what we will do is that we are going to scatter points, deform those points, and then update the volumes depending on those points. What I mean by that is you can just put a volume deform. Now it's so easy to do this. It was a bit harder back in the days. So here you link the volumes you want to convert, and you will see that it will convert to points. Okay, a lot of points. It's just like the points from volumes. And then you link the volume deform here. Okay. Now, like I was saying, you are updating. You are going to deform these points and then update back. Update the volume depending what you do here. The lattice volumes, they call it lattice from volumes. I call it points from volumes, like that simple note. But it's doing much more on the backgrounds because I have a really high um, resolution for pyro solver. I'm going to cancel this now. You can see my Houdini is almost crashing. Let me try. I'm already recording, so my CPU is taking a bit here. So let's go to 0.1. Go back. And let's cache to frame 45. It might be faster now because we have less volumes, less voxels, I mean. We have pyro look, okay, to make it look more fancy. Down a bit. You can see the... Sorry, I'm a bit tired. So we can see the fire. So the lattice from volumes converts all the voxels that have information into points, okay? And as you can see, we have almost 1 million, half a million points. And now between those 2 points inside this link, we are going to apply deforms. What I mean by that is that we can place a bend, for example, and apply a deform. But a quick tip, it's not good to work with these higher numbers when you are testing your deformations. So what we can do is put a resample, a volume resample here. So here, let's dial down the resolution to, I don't know, 0.2, 20%. So we have less points. We have the overall volume. Okay, so it's easy to figure it out. And now you can bend. You can see now the bend is always messed up. So let's put a setup something like that. And as you can see, we can bend. Okay, cool. I don't like these crazy numbers, so let's go with 0. We know our volume is on the origin, right? Let's go with 1, 0, 0. Now let's go capture origin is the origin 0, 0, 0. Capture direction is a normalized vector, so let's go with 0, 1, 0. So we have a vector pointing up, and the capture distance is that distance. Okay, let me go to 0. You see, you are not going to see this here. Here is a blue box. Hope you can see on your computer, and you can change that distance. So if I want to bend just here, let's go and bend here. If you increase the distance, you can see the difference. So now I have this volume like this, and I can put the volume deform 1, and you will see that we will apply that bending. You can see. This to -30, you can see that now we are bending the other way. That is pretty cool, and you can do a lot more than bend. You can apply any transformation here that you normally apply to modeling. Like you can put a transform. You have to write it correctly. You can put a transform, and you can move 5 units on the X, and it will move your pyro simulation. You don't need to always redo the pyro, like, I need the volume on the other stuff. And you can say that you can apply this transform after. It's okay. But I'm going to show you why we are going to apply this transform here. For now, let's test another things. Let's bypass that transform. And on the bend, let's work just with the bend for now. You can bend, you can twist, you can length scale or tapper. Okay, let's go with tapper. Let's see what we can do with tapper. So tapper, let's increase the tapper. What it does. And we are increasing the top, or if you want, you can funnel down that volume. See how it looks? Bit fancy. It looks like a laser beam. What else? Let's go with twist or length scale if you want to increase the range of your fire. You can increase that by changing the length scale. Sometimes it will break your fire, okay? Not that really good, but if you want to decrease, it's good because we are just bumping it more compressed. You can say that. And you can twist like you see on my intro video on the flame on the hand. I'm just twisting it. Go with 800. Now you have a quick, easy tornado, right? That's pretty cool. Sorry, my cat is trying to speak on the microphone. Okay, now you have a quick tornado, and I'm just going to cache everything so you can see what this is doing, and you can see that it's just applying the twist here on the start because our capture length is really small. So let's go with 20. Chris, is we have a lot of what do you call twists, swirls? It looks pretty cool. Let's see how this is animated. Okay, so let's increase this a bit or reduce the voxel size, but increase the resolution. And let's put a file cache very quickly. File cache. Command right. Sorry, my cat is trying to come here to my. So now on file cache, let's go with cache pyro. And you know that I don't like the hip name. just press save to disk and be right back. Let's see how it looks, this quick animation. As you can see, we created a really simple fire tornado really quickly. Okay. Now, on the past, we needed to create custom volumes and always simulate the pyro sim, right? But now you can just make a really simple fire, and then with the volume deform, you can quickly do a tornado. That's pretty cool. Now let's do that vortex or swirl pyro simulation, okay? That you can see on the intro. Okay, when you see the fire going around the arm. We are going to use the same as bend, and we are going to use the twist, but with a transform trick. So let me try and example that or verify that here on the side with the tube. If we can create the, okay, let's try. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try it. Okay, and let's try it here. Okay, you can see our little tube. Let's add a lot of rows. Okay, columns. Let's make it bigger. Let's put it to the floor. Okay, so camera. You can see, imagine this is our pyro simulation, our column of volume, right? And I already said that we are going to always write bend, but it's the same note. Let's turn off the bend and turn on the twist. Okay, so with something like 600, and here we know it's 1, 0, and let's crank this up to 10. Okay, so this is wrong because I have here 0, 1, 0. Okay, now you don't see much, okay, because like we did on our fire tornado, we are just twisting our volume, and you can see that by looking at the polygons. Let's increase this even higher. Let's go with 3000. You can see that our polygons are stretching. Okay, it is twisting the volume. Okay, the volume in this case it's a 2. With a little trick of using a transform without moving our capture, okay, or origin of the twist, we can make it instead of twisting, we are going to create a vortex. Okay, let's see if I can do that with a tube. Put a transform, and you will see that by moving my transform like 2 on the x-axis, we are doing that vortex that I'm looking for. Okay, it's just by moving a bit our volume, because imagine this is a big volume, okay, and we are twisting here on the origin. Okay, so if our tube starts here on the transform, okay, so we are twisting on the origin. Don't mistake by this. Our origin is here, so it is the center. Okay, origin is here. We are just pushing the polygons. Okay, and as you can see, we can get that fire. In my intro video, I have the arm inside. Okay, so it is going around the arm. A little cool trick. Okay, and as you can see, it is pushing a lot to polygons. The same thing will happen with our volume. Okay, remember that our volume is made of points. Okay, and you can see a little bit of a grid here. So the same thing applies here. Okay, when we apply these, we see a lot of polygons being pushed, and so we need to increase the resolution. If I increase this a bit more, we have a bit of more not so pushed. We have more smooth transition. Okay, let's apply this to our bend, to our tornado. Right now you can see that we already know that we got this. Okay. So now let's apply the transform and you will see what happened. Let's go here. A bit hard to see, but if I go up, you can see that we are pasting everything. And if I push, let's go with just 2. I push this a little bit harder to see, but you can get the idea. Okay. You can see that some of parts are pushing to the side. And oops, wrong. Did I do? You can start seeing those grids moving. Okay. One other thing that we can do is go back and increase a bit more the resolution. Okay, and now you have better understanding of that. Okay, and we are applying the same thing that we did here. Okay, I hope you understood that. Okay, now if I use the volume deform, let's see, you can see that we have a really nice tunnel here. Of course, this is a bit too much, but I want to show you the problem when you stretch that out too much, like it happened. It just happened with the tube. You saw that those polygons, and you can already see that our grid is way too far away from the previous one or the next one. So let's see what this does for our volume. You can see that it takes a bit more time to deform, and it's on frame 47, so it takes a bit of more time because we have a lot of resolution and our points are way too high. But I want to try and show you this. Go wait a bit, or I will stop the recording and be right back. Or I don't need it. So let's check how it looks. Go back. So as you can see now, our volume, our pyro simulation is moving. But as you can see, we stretched that too much. And like I want to show you, when you stretch that much, we are breaking the volume. Now you have kind of, it looks like, it is, I like it, it is cool, but for a smooth simulation is not. Because when you press the flip book to see your animation in real time, you'll see that it's breaking. And one other thing that I want to show you is that our pyro sim, we have visual information only on this part. But if you see the lattice, it is using a lot of volume, okay? Because it is using all the voxels that have information. Even if you don't see, you can see the bounding box is like this, because these voxels that you don't see on the viewport might have a density of 0.001, for example. Okay, so you know that even if it is using this much, you don't need to bend that, because on the grid, on each rectangle of the grid, let's on each rectangle is using just a portion of the middle. You don't need to transform that much. Okay, let's try move this just 0.5, for example. Okay, you don't see much here, but let's see on the volume deform if we can get a better better vortex. I'm calling this vortex, I don't know the best name to call it, but you get the idea. So let's see, it takes a bit of time, so I'm going to, okay, when I'm going to stop recording, comes back. And you can see now it's not much as we had before, and really close to the tornado, but you can see that we have a really nice movement here. And break a bit more. Let's go to 1 and see how it looks. If we can get a little bit of space between those movements, okay. And in your case, I'm not going to do that here while recording, because I'm checking on OBS and my CPU is really high. So you can always go to volume resample and start instead of using half of the resolution, try to be close to 1. Okay, so you get better results, so you don't break that much the volume. Even after the pyro look, it's the viewport now smooths a bit, but for now I'm going to stay with this. And you can see that right now we have a little bit of space. Okay, and now we have a vortex. I put, let's use the tube. Go here. And now let's merge. Just see both of them. Now if I see the tube, 2010, now you can see that our pyro looks like it's going around the tube. It's pretty cool. And of course, now you can even add more stuff, like for example, bending. So let me just press ESC to cancel. It is thinking way too much. Now imagine you want to bend, okay? And let's apply this. Let's try afterwards. Let's press ESC because calculating twist, it's too much twist. And let's bend a bit. Just pressing ESC to cancel any calculation that is doing. See what the pen does. If it has inside, it's taking way too much. We have a lot of resolution. Let's see if my computer doesn't crash. You can see that we are bending that pyro, and let's apply the same bending to our tube. As you can see, we have our, imagine this was an arm that has a bit of bending. Okay, not a straight arm or something, or a bell or something. I don't know. You can bend and have that animation going around that tube. Of course, this doesn't simulate with collisions. If you want collisions, you might have to do with custom volumes to make this and make it collide. But this is just a quick fix. Sometimes you don't need that real simulation. If you are going to do just as motion graphics or something, for example, we are on Christmas, and if you want to make particles, sparkles going around the Christmas trees, for example, this is just an easy way, because now you got the pyro simulation, then you can use that volume to advect particles, and quickly you can put your particles with a smooth organic movement around your Christmas tree, and voila, in 5 minutes you got that very quickly. So let's test to render this on Mantra, right? Because you always ask me that. So let's try. Really like these red bars now. Okay, so imagine we got something like this, and let me save it, because when I jump to Mantra, a lot of times it breaks, crashes. I don't know if it is my computer or not, but without changing too much with the pyro look, okay. And let's see how it looks on Mantra. Okay, very cool. Right, I think this looks cool. And if you want to render this on Redshift, I covered that on the previous tutorial. It's the same thing, it's the same principles. You put a volume and then you use density and temperature to color your fire, and that's pretty much it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It was a quick one, and let's just recap everything really quickly in 5 minutes. I think everyone that comes, and if you already know Houdini, you can just jump into the 5 minutes and understand everything. So we put a sphere, to our source. We made a pyro source to create points, right? We rasterize those points data to volumes. we had some noise on the volumes, very simple. And we put a pyro solver, really simple pyro solver. Okay, with with the shape, bit of disturbance, turbulence, and flame expansion to increase that flame. And we use the quick setups to fix everything like lights and camera, create render stage to put everything ready for mantra. And we did initialize fire, of course, and create pyro look. So it creates this little node for us. Okay, creates this. You can come here, initialize, use backbody or whatever you want. Quick setups to create material, and if you want to create lights, create render stage that you can already do on PyroSolver. Then we did the firebending topic, where we experiment a little bit of the bending and twist to make a tornado, and then with the transform trick we made that little vortex. Okay, hope you enjoyed this one. If you are watching this on the release date, happy Christmas to everyone and happy holidays. Hope you enjoy, have fun with your family and friends, and see you on the next tutorial. And don't forget to support us on Patreon or get our tutorials on Retrieve page. With your support we can keep doing these tutorials, and if I don't post anything until then, Happy New Year to all of you and have fun. See ya.